So when the UFOs land and the aliens come to visit, will we unite as a human race, bond, or will we be even more divided than we are now? Good question, right? My question assumes the fact that someday we will make contact with another life form. I personally believe that there probably is something else out there in that deep, dark, black space. We just haven't reached it yet. So I think eventually that's going to happen. I'd like for it to happen in my lifetime just because I think it'd be cool. But I wonder what happens to us as a human race when that happens, assuming it happens. What happens to us? Do we bond as human beings and stop fighting amongst each other like we do now? Or does it get even worse and like, I don't know, different races or countries like try to team up with the aliens and, we keep fighting each other. I don't know, right? Sounds like some sort of weird horror sci-fi movie. But I have thought a little bit about it. Like, what happens? Here's my opinion. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. And I don't know what this has to do with career advice or job interviewing tips or any of the other normal things we usually put out on the Riderflex podcast. I guess you could tie it back and say, hey, what are we all going to do for a living once aliens land? Because it might be different. Maybe that's the tie back to the Riderflex podcast. But here's my opinion. This is what I think is going to happen in 4 areas. Curious to get your thoughts on it. I believe most people are good. I believe most human beings are good. I think that is in our nature, even though we watch the news and we think we all fight all the time. I think most human beings are good. Here's why I believe that. If I was driving down the road, let's just say, okay, let's tie this into my hobby. I like to go camping in the mountains and trail riding. Okay, let's tie it to that. Let's say I'm on a forest road, deep back in the woods, nobody around. I'm in my Jeep. It's cold, it's rainy, and I come across this Chinese guy, and his family, and they're broke down on the dirt road, and it's getting dark, it's cold, wilderness. Do you think that I'm not going to help him because he's from China? Of course I'm going to help him. It's another human being. I'm going to stop and help him. I don't care what his religion is. I don't care what country he's from. I don't care if he speaks English. Same thing if he was Russian, by the way. What if he was Russian? Let's say he was Russian, and let's say, I don't know, let's say on the back of his car, he had like a sticker that said, I hate Ukraine or whatever. I don't know. He's broke down on the side of the road. You think I'm just going to keep going? I mean, because he's Russian? No, I'm going to help him. But I think most of us will help other human beings in time of need. I don't care what the religion is, the race, the sexual preference, politics. Like, at the end of the day, most of us are going to help people, right? If I saw a human being getting attacked by a bear in the woods, like, I'm not going to stop and go, hey man, can you tell me what nationality you are so I can decide whether or not I'm going to help you? So because of that, that's why I think these things are going to happen if aliens land. Number one, I think borders will fade away between countries. I think the lines drawn dividing us as human beings between countries, I think those will fade over time. Number two, I think racism will also fade quickly because we'll have something else to focus on, something else to be mad at, some other being to be pissed off at besides, being racist against a certain type of person. I think religious prosecution, so to speak, will fade people persecuting each other just because they don't believe in the same God or the same religion. I think that will also quickly dissipate. And I think discrimination will quickly disappear as well. Whether we're discriminating against somebody because of their politics or because of their sexual preference or whatever, I think all that stuff will just be small in comparison to some other being landing on the planet, especially if they're hostile. Right. If they're, imagine some other being like fighting us as human beings. You talk about uniting really fast as human beings. All of a sudden, we're all friends. We're just trying to survive. It don't matter what color your skin is or who you sleep with or whether you're left or right on politics. Nobody's going to give a shit. We're all just going to be trying to survive. So I, for one, actually wouldn't mind seeing other beings landing on the planet, because I think it would, I seriously, like, all joking aside, like I think it would help us in a lot of ways as human beings. It'd kind of make us look in the mirror and kind of check ourselves, you know what I mean? And rethink about what's really important and what really matters and how we treat each other as human beings. There's my thoughts on the topic. Happy to get yours if you want to share. And there is your Riderflex episode of the day.